can we agree that every week we'll meet at this time? We'll come up with a structured agenda. And I know that I spoke to another board member at GBB. You know, the GBB leadership is, and they're still being refined. There's board members that are changing, but the thought is to try and move and see whether or not we can smartly move the Micronesian Island Fair to be the lead event in a liberation celebration. And the last event would have to determine the dates in which we would have the start the event and end it. I was looking online, seeing, you know, this Guam Island Fair is equivalent to a state fair, right? Yes. And state fairs are, you know, I've seen some are 2 months, I've seen some that are 2 weeks. So there's some public input we've received that, you know, we definitely want to try and add value to the carnival, bring in some cultural events. People talk about competitions that they used to have, Carabao race, I don't know, you know, I mean, different kinds of things, right? Featuring an opportunity to feature, and I know you've done this in the past, you know, people that are into farming. So I wondered, I want to try and see whether or not we could, there's a lot of people in the community that want to do different things also. So one of the thoughts is, why don't we can come up with some branding for the 75th and maybe have an open call to community organizations. If they want to do things aligned with liberation that can maybe get sanctioned but are not necessarily planned by us but are part of our schedule, that's something that we like to do. I spoke to Kaha early on, trying to let's see what kind of program we can do in the schools for arts. I spoke to the Department of Corrections. There's a lot of artists that are incarcerated. I would like to have an exhibit of arts coming in, themed around the liberation. And then of course there's all the, I've started approaching some of the larger companies already about getting their participation. So coming up with maybe a sponsorship scenario, let's put that together.
We have that already.
And maybe I think that we could try and increase that. My goal right now is at least to identify 10 large corporations on Guam, long-standing, that we can approach and engage, get them to participate. We talked about extending considering extending the parade route for this one, to try and facilitate the movement, trying to get performances, getting in, perhaps going to Route 4 and maybe coming back in to the Skinner's Museum stage there. So really trying to have a festival atmosphere, right?